Now, only a couple of things for the NBA side. We're going to talk about one player and his night in particular, and then we have two more kind of fun segments. So, Keegan Murray, small forward for the Kings, had a career night, 47 points. I think my favorite moment from that night was when Mike Brown benched him, and then everyone booed him.
Mm-hmm.
Like just cheerfully, just playful. But I thought that was pretty funny because I think there's about 2 minutes left, a little over 2 minutes left in the game. So kind of ended the hope for the 50-pointer. But
Mm-hmm.
I did think that was pretty funny. I think my other favorite moment from that game that wasn't from that game was Steph Curry's reaction to
That
it.
was great, wasn't it?
He did what? Was he at now? And then they told him that he was getting benched. And he's like, "Oh, they did it to him. He got it. He got it." I thought that was pretty cool. But you are the Kings fan, so I'm gonna let you comment on this one a little bit further.
Yeah, it's just a great night for Kings basketball and a struggling fan base. And I'm blessed to be a Kings fan. I'll tell you why, because I can enjoy every second of a 49ers long stretch of dominance. I can enjoy every second of the early 2010s when the San Francisco Giants could do nothing but win World Series every other year. I can enjoy that stuff in the moment because I know it doesn't last forever. Keegan's a revelation, man. The Kings could not draft anybody for years and years and years and years. And the thing is if we had drafted Giannis, if we had drafted Dame, if we had drafted Kawhi, if we had done all this stuff we were supposed to, we would have ruined the players and they would have never developed anyway.
Yeah.
Ownership got their heads out of their ass. They hired a hell of a head coach. They hired a hell of a staff. They drafted a hell of a player in Keegan Murray. They handed the keys to De'Aaron Fox. They made a massive trade trading away Tyrese Halliburton for Domantas Sabonis. And let's just say Kings made the playoffs last year. They're aiming for the playoffs this year, but the jury's still out on if they made the right decision there with Halliburton. We can set that aside for now. To see a young player in his sophomore year explode while also being the number one defensive option on our team it's just so you're so proud to see something like that, to see a player recognized on the national level. And he broke 100 Kings records that night. I won't even go into them because they're actually kind of embarrassing that the records are so tiny, but he passed a player I'm not too fond of, Buddy Hield, for the most threes in a Kings game. And I wanted him to break
most threes in a quarter and most points in a quarter as well.
I wanted him to break Clay's record. The dude was just on fire. Like, he could not miss. And I watched every second of it, and it was just, I was screaming and I was hooting and I was hollering and I'm screaming because, the Kings fans, you'll find out tomorrow. When he makes a three, the announcer yells out, Keegan, and then the crowd yells back, Murray. So announcer Scott is his name on Twitter. His voice is going hoarse. People are going crazy. And then you come back down the other end of the court and he's guarding their best player. So it's one of those things where with Keegan Murray, he doesn't smile, but he has a wonderful attitude. He's just got that, I watch the games with my girlfriend and she always calls him, oh, look, resting bitch faces on the TV again, because he just and Mark Jones, who's ESPN's number 2 announcer, he'll say, Keegan Murray's really excited about this. He just hasn't told his face yet. And it's freaking hilarious because he puts Harry Giles on a poster against the Brooklyn Nets. And I love Harry. Puts Harry Giles on a poster and he's just on the other end, like shows no emotion. And I just love it. And the best part is that he passed in his second year. He passed De'Aaron Fox's career high. And De'Aaron hasn't been playing. He hurt his shoulder. And we've been still racking up the wins, which is nice. But De'Aaron Fox said after the game that he is 1,000% aware that the Keegan Murray just passed him in his career high. And he's going to make sure that that's not the case for very much longer. And a side note for them, too, is Keegan stayed local all summer and did nothing but play De'Aaron Fox one-on-one every day, and he was not allowed to post De'Aaron up. So all he did all offseason was try to score on De'Aaron and try to defend De'Aaron. And you see it paying off. I've told you before the podcast starts, I think he's a two-way superstar in the making. And I think there's going to be a time where we're talking here in the near future that Keegan Murray is the number 1 player on our team. And that's with De'Aaron Fox on the team. So I believe in the kid. I think he's amazing. And I'm just proud to go and say, you know what? The Kings finally didn't screw something out. They didn't take freaking Marvin Bagley over Luka Doncic and all this other stupid shit that we've done for years and years and years. And could have had this player, but we wanted Jimmer Fredette for the freaking fans and the ratings. And it just feels nice, man.
What's cool about it is they were couple of the players are talking about it, and they were telling him, enjoy the night, dude. This is career stuff. This is not a lot of people do this. And he, from what you were kind of saying, is his face doesn't show, and he would just kind of like acted like it was any other day, any other game, right? And I also think his relationship with Mike Brown is so good. It's so funny. I love Keegan passing up an open shot, and then Mike Brown trotting someone out to the announcer's table and waits there, and Keegan then goes to takes the ball down the court in the next possession and scores, and Mike Brown sends the dude to the bench. I love that. I think it's unique, and I don't think you see it a lot. It's good coaching all around, but it's unique.
There's like a 4-minute clip that you can find on Elon's app of Keegan passing up a shot, and you hear through the broadcast Mike Brown, shoot the ball, because he's done it so many times this year where Keegan passes up a shot or whatever. And it is great coaching. And it's just, I'm so blessed, man, that the Kings are finally not a putrid ass franchise. And I can be, my cousin hits me up and says, hey, do you want to go to the Celtics Kings game? And I could think to myself, they could win that game. They may not. Celtics are a hell of a franchise, hell of a team. Congrats to you. But I don't have to go tomorrow. Like, before I went to the Kings games, we went to the Hornets games. We'd go to maybe the Magic games, but that's it. Those are the only teams that they could beat. So I wasn't going to any other games. So it's just nice to be in a position with your local franchise that you support, like die hard. I've watched every game for 16 years of them being trash. I go to 30 or 40 games a year. And it used to be that we'd show up to the arena to be like, oh man, can DeMarcus go for 40 this tonight? We're going to lose, but can he do something special that we can watch? And now it's finally like, no, we're going to win. I went to the